All right, we're back with another great episode of Good Mom, and I'm here with my good friend Lindsay. Hi, Lindsay.
Hello, Sunny, and hi, everybody. Glad to be here today.
All right, Lindsay. So today we're going to talk about what happens when you miss something big in your kids' lives. And for me, this just happened 3 days ago. I knew it was going to happen. You know, it's like a car accident. You know it's coming your way and everything slows down.
No.
I knew it was going to happen. It kind of happens a little bit every year. What I'm talking about is my oldest son turned 15 years old. And as I've been telling you guys, we're back in Ohio. We're visiting friends and family for the summer. My girls have been out here the entire time with me. My husband and my boys came out for a week, and then they had to go back because the boys have football. We did a whole episode, by the way, on football messing up my whole summer. You guys can watch that too. So one of the things, usually they're here for longer and we can have like a little, birthday party. When he was really little, like we would have a full on party, and, cousins would come because most of our family is back here. And this year we did the least we've ever done. And I have to tell you, I have some mom guilt about that. Aww. So they were only back here for 5 days. We were super duper busy. That was right around the 4th of July. So we had to see everybody and go visit, do all this travel, all this kind of stuff. And there wasn't a cake. There wasn't anything. Now he's back in California with my husband. By the way, he got a fantastic birthday gift. He got a new e-bike, which he is just so excited about.
Whoa, that's exciting.
So, yeah. So he loves it. And, so we're covered on the present front, which, birthdays shouldn't just be about presents. But, his birthday was just 3 days ago and it was creeping up and I was like, what are we going to do? Like, how can we, make this something that is still kind of special? Is there anything that I can do? So Lindsay, one of the things we ended up doing is I thought, well, maybe we can get a little cake and we'll do like a little video. We'll put the candles on it. Everything we would normally do. We'll just record it and we'll send it to him. And so that's exactly what we did.
Oh,
and
that's adorable.
I thought it was adorable. So I sent it to him on his birthday. My intention was to just, have something for him. I don't know, show that we cared. But unintentionally, what happened is it made him feel guilty. And that's what he said after he watched the video. And I'm like, oh boy, that did not have the effect that I wanted it to have. But anyway, so we missed a big event. And, this happens to us as parents. There might be, a basketball game, a recital, a swim meet, something happens and there's a conflict and you miss the big event. Lindsay, has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, like so many times. I don't even want to talk about it. No.
I don't want to admit it.
It is. It's rough. I can remember several events with my kids in high school. Just things that would come up. One kid would have one thing, another kid would have another thing, had to split between kind of like your summertime. And the thing that was challenging, the most challenging is you never knew which thing was going to stick with them as the most important trauma they ever had. So
right. No pressure.
I'm sorry that I missed your particular day singing on stage that one of time. And it's like, oh, I had no idea that was the thing that you were going to hold me accountable to for the rest of my life. Right. So that's one of the hardest parts is that you just don't know. But missing those special moments often for parents, moms, dads, all of us, it is guilt-ridden. We want to be there 24/7, 20 years in the row for our kids, and it's just not realistic. It's just not. And I think part of the puzzle is having kids learn about disappointment, including and showing it in ourselves. Like, I'm so disappointed I can't be there for your big event, and I know I can't. It's just not going to work out. And I have to deal with that disappointment in a way that's healthy. And because there is no possible way to do it. And you have 4 kids, that's just a magnitude of a million when you do the permutations on that. It's like the chances of you being at every single one of their most important things is like not high. It's a low probability, And I think it's important for us to just forgive ourselves, and be okay with the fact that we're not going to be there for all of it. I am curious, though, about your son's reaction that you guys did this thing and he felt guilty. Say more about that. Why was he feeling guilty that you went out of your way to have a birthday?
Well, because he wasn't here and he had had so many birthdays. Like, we've talked in the past about me going through a bunch of video footage when I'm here and reliving those memories.
Okay.
And that's part of what I've been doing. And I've seen all the birthdays that he's had. I mean, we're talking like 7+ birthdays have, been,
And
here.
Ohio. Mhm.
And yeah. And so this is also about choices, to go along with what you were saying, disappointment choices. I remember at the beginning of the summer, when we were trying to determine what we were going to do this summer and who was going to come and everything. And I told my boys, I'm like, right now you are choosing football. That is a choice. And when you make choices in life, sometimes there are consequences or things that happen as a result that you may not like.
Right.
Now, you made the choice to do football, and football has a very demanding schedule in the summertime, which is why they're not back here, right?
Yep.
So part of me, even though I still felt guilty, okay? But part of me wanted him to see the consequence of that choice, and to know so that next time he's in a position, not necessarily whether or not you're going to come back to Ohio, but when he's in a position to make, do I do this choice? Do I do this choice? Well, you got to weigh all the pros and cons. And hopefully these types of situations will, come back and he'll remember them so he can make better choices.
That's really good. Kids, it's so important that they learn how to be able to choose. It's a weighing of their priorities and what's happening for them at the time in their life. There may come a time when it's your birthday and he has to make a choice between his kids and going to see mom. It's going to be interesting because that's how it always goes, And we're all constantly weighing priorities and thinking about things and considering what happens if I don't do or do. One of the things that I think is really important to bring up here is that whole guilt and shame thing as well. It's really easy to guilt ourselves into a corner. And when the should word comes out, like I should, because I would be and then fill in the blank, a good mom. I would be a good mom if, and then fill in the blank, I should do that. Whenever that word should comes out, I just say stop, drop, and roll. Start really looking at it, because a should is just it's a hidden killer. And it's usually creating some kind of guilt or shame. It's making you feel bad because the choice you would make makes you feel better, right? I would really rather go to a spa day than sit here at a 4-year-old birthday party, right? Hey, hasn't every mom said that, right? But I should, and then fill in the blank.
Yeah.
It's really important not to should yourself often. It's very important. So this is one of those places where if you miss something, it's because the priority that was there really was important to you. And it's okay to choose you over your kids once in a while. It's okay for your kids to choose themselves over you once in a while. That's all good.
Right.
In fact, it's healthy. It's not good if it's always, always, always the same way, right? So, yeah.
Right. And that's really what happened with the choice to come back this summer.
Okay.
Is I thought, I need this. I think my girls need this. We want to spend more time with family. We need a break in scenery. We're constantly in our house, we're homeschooling and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, well, my health, my well-being, and their well-being is just as important as my son's, because I could have easily been like, oh, no, I can't miss his birthday, so he has to be back here, so I need to be back there in California.
Yep.
And that's not what I chose. And like I said, it was more like, well, was really his decision. We've already set the norm of what we do, typically, each summer.
Yeah.
He's the one that's making a different choice, and I still have to think about the other people involved and what's best for them.
Love it. I absolutely love what you did. I commend you. Yay for good mom who chose herself as well as weighing the situation and allowing your 15-year-old son to make a choice for his own life. 15 is a huge age shift.
Yeah.
It's a big one. It's a really big
Right.
one. And he's stepping into, I'm going to start choosing for me. And
Right.
it's brilliant. So well done, good mom, Sonny. Yay.
Aw, thanks, Lindsay.